members choose who can participate. Set a delay between messages. Hide or put people in timeout. Manage. Am I missing something? Okay. Manage. Let me try that again. Okay. Manage messages held for review and then add moderators to your channel. All right. Hey guys, so today starts my 120 days towards manifesting more in my life, in my business. And I'm going to start with a couple of journals that I've gotten. I got this Miracle Manifestation Journal. I got this 369 journal. I got some shadow work journals. I have a journal of my own that I've been using for years. And I'm going to be doing some other stuff. So if you watch this now or watch it on the replay, please feel free to join in with the exercises, because if you have any goals that you want to accomplish in the next 120 days in your business, your life, personal, professional, relationships, building business relationships, building your thought leadership platform, anything, this is the place to start. It starts with your mindset, being dedicated and disciplined and saying that I'm going to do this, and then putting pen to paper and starting to do the work. So the first, coming out of the Miracle Manifestation Journal, is commitment to self. And I want you to write these words down, commit them to yourself. So this is what it says: commitment to self. I, you state your name, commit to completing this miracle journey with an open heart, an open mind, completing it to the best of my ability. I commit myself fully to this self-development, because going on a journey whereby you're trying to accomplish a goal, you have a goal in sight. 120 days is just before the end of the year. So that's 1/4. So if you put this commitment on paper and say it to yourself, put it somewhere where you can read it to yourself when you get up in the morning, where you can commit these words to memory, commit them to your soul, your spirit, your being, your presence. You are bound to do better with the things that you set out to accomplish. It says, I commit to being open to receiving all miracles. I commit to expecting the best outcomes and trusting that my desires will find their way to me. Because I want to add this little caveat. Everything that you need is at your disposal. You just have to be creative about bringing it to the forefront and bringing it to your present. Everything you need is at your hands. I ran a tutoring business for many, many, many years. And the one thing I always told the students at the beginning is everything you want to learn, you have within inside of you. You just have to figure out how to pull it out. And they'd be so surprised when they'd accomplish very quickly, going from level 0 or 1. I mean, most of these kids were failing out of school or doing very poorly in school when they came to me. And within 3 months turnaround time, they're at the top of their class and their teachers are wondering, what do we do? And I said, I just taught them how to be confident. I taught them to learn how to use all their tools and resources. Like when I walk into a classroom, I always tell the kids, if I were you and I was being smart, I would be looking all around the room to find the answers that I'm looking for, because the answers might be right in front of you, but you just don't look for them. And they'd be surprised when stuff would be on the walls. I'm like, did you look up on the walls? Did you look on the board? Did you look on the bulletin board? Did you flip through your books? Did you look at your notes? All of those things can help you find the answers that you want in life. Okay, so back to the commitment to self. It says, I commit to being open to receiving the miracles, to receiving all the blessings. I commit to expecting the best outcomes and trusting that my desires will find their way to me. Trust the process. I commit to believing in my own power to create the miracles and the blessings that I want in my life. And I promise to never give up on myself, never quit. The great psychoanalyst, psychologist, psychotherapist Carl Jung always said, never quit.
From WETA Classic
Because
Love,
everything that
was
you
the
need is right
1016
inside of you.
concerto of
But you have to
Johann
have the
Sebastian
tenacity to
Bach,
push
violinist
through. You have to have the
Rachel Aldrich and Andrew
intestinal
Manzi,
fortitude to
the
push
Academy of
through
Ancient Music.
those low times
Thank
when you
you
feel
for
like
tuning
giving
in.
up.
The music
Because I've
from
been there. I
WETA
feel like
Classic
giving up
possible
many
by
times
your
a day.
financial support.
There's things that
And
make
by
me want to say, why am I
Washington
working
National
this
Opera,
hard? Why am I doing this? Why don't I just go take the easy road? Why am I doing the road less traveled? And then I say, you know what? God put me here for more, so I have to keep on pushing through. And this is what I want to share right now. Before we get into what is manifestation, how do you manifest, and how we're going to manifest in 120 days, the things, the goals that we want to accomplish in the next 120 days. I help analytical and creatively inspired people find ways to fund their passion projects through MRR, PLR products such as DBA, the Digital Boss Academy. There's other tools. There's lots of resources, but mostly I help analytical and creative people find the things inside of them that they can bring out, monetize, and create the kind of life that they endeavor and really dreamed about living. Because life is too short to be living a life that feels like drudgery and boredom, and it feels like you're pulling yourself through every single day. No, you want to live a life where every day feels like a vacation. You do that by let's set these goals now for the next 120 days, and every single day commit to doing one or two things towards accomplishing that goal, and you'd be surprised at what you accomplish all along the way. 120 days is a long time. And if you are intentional about what you do each day, because each day lays the foundation for the next day, and each couple of days lays the foundation for the next week, and each week lays the foundation for the next 2 or 3 weeks, and each 2 or 3 weeks lays the foundation for the month, and each month lays the foundation for the quarter, and each quarter lays the foundation for the year. So we have to be intentional. Manifestation is an incredibly powerful process of turning thoughts, feelings, beliefs, emotions, ideas into reality. And we do that by using all the tools and resources that we have at our disposal, and saying every day I have to be intentional about the things I say yes to, about the things I say no to, and don't feel bad when you have to say no to something because it's not on your agenda of things that's going to get you towards this goal. For the next 120 days, I want you to have tunnel vision about being very specific about the things that you spend your time with every single hour, every single day. Get up early as you possibly can. I've been up since 4:30 this morning, mostly because my dogs got up at 4:30. But by 6 o'clock, I was getting myself together. 6:30, we were out to get our walk. By 7:30, I was back home to get breakfast and getting my day started. Getting them fed, getting them taken care of, getting some playtime in, doing all the things, doing a little yard work, because I love to be out in the yard. And if I could, it's my dream that if I could, in the next couple of years, buy a farm where I would just, everything on my farm would be edible. Fruit trees, veggies, all types of plants, herbs. Well, I have mostly herbs, a few vegetables. We successfully grew one watermelon this year. Let's see, tomatoes. My tomato plants are still struggling along, but the herbs and the fruit and the flowers. I had 1.5 dozen peaches finally on the peach tree. And then when I got back from vacation a couple of days ago, all my peaches were gone. I believe somebody took them because they were looking nice and ripe and ready. But I wanted them to ripe on the tree a little bit longer. But I figured out some tips for next time, because this is the first year that we actually had like a full-fledged bushel of fruit on the peach tree. So I was so excited about that, but hopefully whoever got them, they went to good use. And I know they've been working on our street all for the last few months, and I believe some of the people probably plucked off my peach trees, but I'm not going to say that for certain because I don't know for sure. But some of them were up so high that I don't know how anybody could have gotten them. But anyway, let's stay focused. 120 days to accomplish this goal that you're setting. So what is manifestation? Manifestation is a powerful process of turning your thoughts and ideas, your feelings, your emotions, your beliefs into your reality. Manifestation emphasizes the idea that your internal state of being, shapes your reality. And knowing this, you need to use the power deliberately by setting your intentions every hour, every moment, every day, every week, every month, every year. So you're using your time and your energy, the things that you focus on, the things that you say yes to, the things that you indulge in day by day by day, moment by moment. You're using all of your resources intentionally. So you're not just drifting into doing stuff just because somebody asked you to do it. If that's not on your agenda for the day, let it go and walk away. Just let it go and walk away. But if it is on your agenda, stay doggedly focused so that you can accomplish your goals every single day. So by the end of the day, 8, 10, 12 hours later, you should be able to say each day, I did this. At the end of this day, I will be able to say, I have live streamed and I have set my intentions for that day, and I have moved one step closer to my 120-day goal. Okay? All right. Also, one caveat with that. Be careful who you're sharing your intentionality and your dreams and your desires with. Because you don't want at the beginning stages for someone to get you second guessing and for someone to talk you out of the things that you know that was put in your heart for you to accomplish. Okay? So let's be intentional with everything. Let's be intentional with the things we share. Let's be intentional with the things that we use our time with. Let's be intentional with the things that we do. Yes, let's be very intentional with the things we say no to, because everything ain't for everybody. So if it's not for you, don't feel bad about saying no. But if it is for you, see how it can work into your plan. Okay? All right. So, aligning your thoughts, feelings, behaviors, your desires to attract even the seemingly impossible into your existence. So if you put everything into alignment every single day and you're very intentional with it, you'd be surprised at how much things start coming to you that you didn't necessarily think were going to be there, but it's something that you probably needed and it's coming to you because you're being intentional about where you put your energy, where you put your focus, where you put your time, where you put your thoughts. And don't let those wandering thoughts that just kind of drift through your imagination, don't let them stick. Don't let them live rent-free in your head. Let them go. Let them go. Stay focused. Think, redo. If it's sometimes you just need to take a break so you can get your mind clear and back on track, then do that. Do whatever it needs to do, whatever you need to do to stay on top of these 120-day goals. How do we manifest? Well, that's going to be a process where we're going to go through little by little all throughout the 120 days. But you must be positive. Be grateful for the very moments that you have, the very fact that you get to even have the opportunity to do this, to get into a 120-day goal challenge, so to speak. Be grateful for that opportunity. Be grateful for the vision that was given to you. Be grateful for the thoughts and the emotions that were given to you. Be grateful for the things that you are able to do and find a way to use them to get yourself to this 120 days, right? Okay. So I know a lot of people talk about the law of attraction. They talk about being grateful. They talk about the law of assumption. They talk about the law of reciprocity. They talk about self-concept. A lot of these people indulge in affirmations. Personally, I have my feelings about affirmations. Inspired action, imagination, and visualization. Some people tell you do vision boards. Some people tell you do things with frequency. Like that's what the 369 journal does. If you write and you keep doing the same motions over and over, it's just like they say 21 days for you to be able to adopt a new habit. Sometimes it depends, and that has caveats. It depends on the complexity of whatever it is, the habit you're trying to develop. Generally, it's about 28 days, a month for you to develop a new habit if you're doing it consistently. But all of these things can play into manifesting. But what is the most important parts of that? Because I don't want you to get hung up and become obsessive about, oh, I must do affirmations. I must have a vision board. All of those tools, like I said at the beginning, everything doesn't work for everybody. You have to figure out what works for you, what gives you the best results, the fastest, and use those tools to your disposal. Law of attraction is basically if you surround yourself with like-mindedness, you surround yourself in an environment that feeds you, you will attract to you the things that you want and you desire much faster than if you're in an environment where you're fighting against or you feel out of place or you feel like a fish out of water. Like minds, like places that feed you, making sure that you feed your energies, making sure that you get out in nature. I like being out in nature, picking weeds, working in the garden, being in the yard, hearing the sounds of the wild animals. I like that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff feeds me. I could live outdoors. I could be outdoors for hours and hours at a time. And I would feel so refreshed, like kicking my feet off and just walking on the ground. Those types of things feed me. Find what feeds you and do that as much as you possibly can each and every day so that you stay on target and you feel like, okay, I'm getting somewhere. My spirit and my soul is being fed. My mind is at rest, and I can keep on going with the things that I need to do. If it means just taking a cup of tea, drinking something, a cold, refreshing drink, eating some fresh fruit, whatever it is that's going to feed you, both internally and spiritually and soulfully, do that thing as much as possible. That's what the law of attraction really talks about. Like making sure that you're in an environment that continues to feed you, that continues to edify you. That's the law of attraction. Gratitude. Often you hear, if you're not grateful for what you have, you will not be able to get more. So if you're ungrateful for what you have, more will not come to you because you're not being a good steward of what you have. So expressing gratitude at just being able to be allows you to be even more. Expressing gratitude for when people do nice things for you, that makes more people want to do nice things for you or for them to keep blessing on you, right? Self-concept. Self-concept is about, how do you feel about you? How do you feel about this person right here? How does Adrian feel about Adrian? How do you feel about you? Do you feel a positive vibe about yourself? Do you feel confident? Because confidence is one of the biggest things to getting what you want out of life. A lot of times when people aren't confident, their energy level goes down. It stays down. And the things that they want to come to them are not attracted to them because they're having a repulsive type energy, because they're not exuding confidence. You ever notice that people who are extremely confident, like somebody who comes in and works the room really good, and they say hi to everybody and they're cheerful and they're upbeat, they attract more people. People just attract to them like flies on honey. So that's how you want to feel about whatever it is your gifts are. I'm not saying that you have to be the life of the party, but be confident in something and know that you're so good at something that that's your gift. And trust me, people will be attracted to that. The right people will be attracted to that energy and seek you out even more for that gift. Affirmations. Affirmations are similar to when we did the commitment to self. It is, I commit to this thing. I am beautiful. I am bold. I am courageous. I am fearless. I am a gift to this earth. I am talented. I am good at XYZ. You fill in the blanks. Those are your affirmations, and repeat them to yourself as often as possible. I am good at. I am. Whatever I am statements you want to fill in, those could be your affirmations. Imagination. I believe imagination, simply put, is what are your desires? What are the things that you dream about, that you sit and daydream about? What are the thoughts that come to you, your imaginings? The things that you, someday I would do this. What are your dreams? What are your desires? What are your goals? What are the things that you want to have at your disposal in your life at some point? That's your imagination. Visualization is oftentimes referred, like with athletes, they tell you to visualize the finish line. With your dreams, say if it was you wanted to get your dream house or your dream business. At some point, I want to get a dream food truck. And what would it look like? How many rooms would it have? What would be the square footage? How many windows would it have? What kind of windows would it have? Would it have a big yard? Would you have animals out in the yard? Would you have your pets there? Would it be lots of people in the space? What does the kitchen look like? What does the dining room look like? What does your den look like? Is there a basement? What does your attic look like? What kind of closets do you have? What kind of clothes are you wearing? What kind of furniture is there? Is it a farmhouse? Is it a city brick house? Is it a brownstone? Is it a huge rolling mansion with lots and lots of acreage all around? Is it in a quiet area? Is it in the suburbs? Is it in an urban area where there's lots of noise? There's bustling and hustling? Think about it. What kind of workspace do you have? What kind of workspace do you enjoy being in? Do you like sitting at a desk all day? Or do you like being up on your feet and moving around? I like moving around personally. Sitting at a desk would be the most boring or stuff. I remember I used to have a job doing lab work, and I really didn't like lab work. I knew that going in, but it was part of some of the parts of the job that was basically a must do, right? And as much as I could, I would move around the lab. I would go check stuff. If there was things to go to another area to do, I would be able to do it. And that would kind of help break up the monotony of my day. So you have to figure out, what kind of workspace do I want? Do I want to be in a co-working space? Do I want to work where I can just go on vacation, take my laptop, take my tools, have everything mobile and ready to go and pack it up? Do I want that kind of environment? Think about that. That's your visualization. So part of visualization is where people get into vision boarding. I've tried vision boarding, and yeah, it's fun because I like to do cut and paste and arts and crafts and all that fun stuff. But as far as me using that as my impetus to keep going, it just wasn't for me. But a lot of people use it to kind of push themselves forward, and it works. So you find what works for you and you do more of that, right? As long as something works for you, keep doing it. Don't just do it because someone suggested it. Do it because it works for you, right? The next thing is frequency. Do that thing that you know you must do every single day. Do a little of that thing to move yourself to your goal for the next 120 days. If not, to make it a habit, do a little bit every single day, right? Don't just procrastinate and wait and then try to do a major catch-up. Nope. This is about taking inspired action. Actions that are going to move you towards this goal that you have set for yourself. It is about creating the type of resources. It is about manifesting the things that you want to come to you and the things that you want to come around you. the resources that you need around you to achieve your goals. Taking inspired action every chance you get, every single day. Be diligent, be deliberate, be determined to keep going no matter what. You hit a bump in the road, you hit a pothole, you ride around it, and you keep going. And you stay focused on that goal. What is your 120 days going to look like? Lastly, before we get into it, is what is the psychology of manifestation? The psychology of manifestation speaks to everything, your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas, what you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch, what you do with your hands, what you do with your soul, how you talk about your thing, how you use your tools and resources, the tools and resources that you call to you. If you need help with something, make sure you reach out to the people that can help you with that thing. Ask questions. Don't be afraid. It's about having no fear about knowing that you have the thing in you to accomplish the goals that you're setting out for yourself, and being doggedly determined to get to that end goal. It's like, you ever seen a track and field runner, and they're behind coming into the last home stretch, and they kick into second gear, and you see that determination on their face. They start pumping more. They dig into their heels. They start breathing deep. They're looking at that goal and keeping the things on their peripheral. They're gonna get them off track, keeping them out here, and staying focused on that target. Like, if I could just take one more step, one more foot, two more foot, stretch my legs, and they're talking to themselves and telling themselves that. So all of that is part of the psychology of manifestation. I remember I used to have a mentor when I was on active duty, and she used to say, both of us were pretty petite, and she would say, look at the lines on the sidewalk, and every time you go to stretch your stride, try to hit the next line on the sidewalk. So the lines on the sidewalk were at least about 2.5, maybe almost 3 feet apart, each line. So that would help, like, get farther and farther, and help you stretch your stride and help you build your speed, because the closer you could get to getting your stride to the lines on the sidewalk meant that you were pushing yourself faster, farther, with less energy. So that's what you want to think about throughout this 120 days. What can be my lines on the sidewalk? What can be my benchmarks that will help me to stretch myself, that will help me to push through to the next level, that will help me to push through to the next step? And I have to keep my eyes focused. I have to keep myself focused on that and keep pushing forward. So reality, it is often said, and this is a quote by Albert Ellis, reality is not so much what happens to us. Rather, it is how we think about those events that creates the reality that we experience. It's like having several children in a family, and none of them has the same experience exactly with their parents or with each other. Because your reality is created by the things that you take into your being, and the way that you think about how the things that you've experienced were experienced, or how they came to you. It's the value, the thought, the meaning, the emphasis that you put on things that happen to you each and every moment of the day. That creates your reality. So what we want our reality to be during this time period, where we're really trying to push for another goal, a bigger goal, a higher goal, achievement, to increase our business, to increase our lifestyle, to better our circumstances, is to look at what I can do each and every day to make the best of my situation. Part of that is making sure you put yourself in the right circumstances. And secondly, is making sure that you are grateful for it, that you take hold of all the resources available, that you seek help when you need help, that you speak up for yourself, you speak up when you need help, you speak up for yourself, you tell excuse me, you tell people about the good that you have to offer, and share your gifts, your talents, your dreams, your desires with the right people at the right time. And don't share them with everybody. Don't surround yourself with naysayers. Make sure you surround yourself with people and situations and circumstances that are going to edify you each and every day. And trust and believe you will accomplish so much more at the end of the day without having to overcompensate for the negativity. Don't surround yourself with naysayers. Don't put yourself in circumstances that make you less than, or show up as less than you really deserve to show up as. Put yourself in situations that make you show up as the best level of you that you possibly can be. Right? So that's the psychology of manifestation. While it's psychological principles suggest our mindset, our focus. So we talked about that, mindset and focus, right? Okay. Albert Ellis also came up with a theory called rational emotive behavioral therapy. And this is whereby your thoughts, your beliefs, your interpretations of significant events throughout your day, throughout your experience, your existence, you put certain values on those things, and your beliefs and your ideas and your thoughts alter how you behave. So they kind of guide your behavior. So that's why you have to start out with thinking positively, with doing some of the affirmations. I am great at doing nails, but I like to do natural nails more so than other things. I am great at gardening, but I like to garden herbs. I am a great cook. I love to make things, comfort foods, much more healthy for people so they can still enjoy the foods they grew up eating and love to eat, but it will feed their body, their mind, their soul. I am great at taking care of people, taking care of my pets. I have a wonderful bedside manner when need be. I'm good at mixing up herbs and tinctures and things that people need to keep themselves more healthy. I'm great at doing research. So look for ways to use your gifts to the best of your ability and keep those in the forefront of your mind. Because when you know you have these gifts and these talents that you are so good at, that you were born with, they are innate, they're instinctual, then that can drive everything else towards accomplishing your goals. Okay? So let's get on to creating reality. Right? How do you attract the things you desire? I want you to write on a piece of paper. How do you attract the things that you desire? That's the first part of our journey. So I've put my answers on another sheet of paper. But think about, how do you attract the things that you desire? If your desire is to grow your business, are you talking to your main source of clients or your ideal clients every single day, every chance you get? Are you telling people these are the types of people that you work with? I help analytical and creatively inspired find ways to fund their passion projects, lifestyle, with master resale rights, with private label rights, with other done-for-you programs such as DBA and other programs, to fund their lifestyle and use that to funnel into their business so that they can accomplish even more in their business. Because the majority of businesses, especially small businesses, are sorely underfunded. But we don't want to go and start getting debt to get our businesses up and running. You want to make sure that you have social proof. How do you get social proof? You get people to actually buy into your ideas. and say, yes, I'll support that. Yes, I'll support your tea time ventures. I'll support your consulting business. I'll support your coaching business. I'll support your agave business. I'll support you doing fruitcake. You get people to buy into that. So that's by talking to the right people and enough of the right people every single day and making that your main focus. Do it just like you would go to a job or go to school every single day. If you said you're going to do it between such and such a time and such a time, at such and such a time get started, and such a time end, take a break, and then you can start it up again or do some more later. But keep yourself on a targeted schedule so that you don't get distracted by things that come and go every single day. How do you attract the things that you desire? One of the ways we attract the things that we desire is by being in a space with the things that we desire. Like if you desire to be in a space where it was, for example, you were going to be starting out, because this is an easy one, a clothing line. Are you in a space where people like to buy clothes? Are you in a space with people who are fashion forward? Are you in a space where people are talking shop? Are you in a space where maybe you go to vending events? Maybe you do pop-up shops. Are you in those spaces? Are you putting yourself out there in those spaces so that the people that you desire to deal with and do business with, are they there? Are they readily available in that space? Okay. The next question is, do you believe a higher power exists? And how has this belief experience influenced you? Not everybody believes in the supreme being, but because I do believe in God. Although sometimes it's hard, and there's a caveat with that. But I do believe a higher power exists, and I do believe there's something else. There's energy sources that are controlling things, sometimes to your advantage, that you didn't even understand. How did this happen? I remember one time I was in a very bad car accident, and I ended up getting hit by a drunk driver. Car spun around and ended up 6 inches away from smashing into a building, which could have been even worse than it was, just totaling the car. But I remember the glass got smashed up. There was glass shards all over my face, in my mouth, everywhere. I mean, it was glass and blood everywhere. But the one thing when the car stopped was I had this little colorful cross that I had out of stained glass. I had made it like years before. And the cross was the one thing that was dangling still on the dashboard facing me. Everything else from the dashboard was all in the back seat, on the passenger side. I mean, things were everywhere because things got thrown everywhere. I had my seatbelt on. The seatbelt was all up in my neck, had cut me. It was a mess. But that cross was hanging there, and I said, but God. And I knew that was a sign, because that was the one thing that didn't get tossed around when everything else got tossed to the back and on the floor and everywhere. So, do you believe in a higher power? Ask yourself that. And it's okay if you say no to that, but you want to be, this is a time to be honest, and this is a time to be open with yourself and put it all out on the line, because you're trying to accomplish something for you. You're trying to move your life and your business forward in big ways. And if you stay true to this and you're open and honest with yourself, then you will see a difference at the end of the day. How has this belief influenced you? Okay? So I want you to take some time to think about that question. Answer that question for yourself. Write it out. You want to write out all of these answers. Because if you don't write it out, it would just be like throwing caution to the wind, and you won't even remember that it even existed. And I want you to go back and review these things, and so you can have something like a roadmap to say, okay, this is where I started 120 days ago, and now look at where I am. You'd be amazed at what you can accomplish in 100. That's 4 months. That's a long time. 120 days is a long time to be able to put pen to paper and put your feet to the pavement and keep it moving and do some things to change the trajectory of your life. Believe me, it can happen. I have seen it happen hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of times, with hundreds and hundreds of my students over the course of a short amount of time, how they've gone sky high and amazed themselves in the process. Okay? The next question is, in what ways do you believe you have power to shape your future and dictate your destiny? Again, in what ways do you believe that you have the power, the intestinal fortitude, the wherewithal to shape your future and change the trajectory of your life by changing your destiny? And how confident are you that you have the power to do so? So there's that confidence again. Be a little delusional right here. Say, I know I can do this. If somebody with half of what I have, or way less, somebody living in a cardboard box under the bridge can do things, then I know I can do it. Because I'm here. I'm on this side. I have the opportunity to make a change. So in what ways do you believe you have the power to shape your life, shape your future, change your destiny, change your trajectory? You have ways to do it. But sometimes, and I know I've been victim to this at times, we go through where we feel like things are piling on us. But how do I get out of this mess? And I never understood what the phrase get yourself unstuck meant. Well, I understand it in theory, but sometimes it's difficult to put it into practice. And that's where these questions can become very, very important. What ways do you think that you have the power to change and shape your future and your destiny? And do you have the confidence to know you can do it? I was listening to an interview of this girl that opened up a small mall, technically. And she allows people, vendors, local small business owners to come and vend their wares in her space. And I know over the years I've done this with other people, different people that have shops and things. And I was thinking to myself, if all of those people had put together something that was much more intentional, where would their businesses have been today? Excuse me. Her business is on a trajectory to keep growing and is gaining momentum. And because she has all these other businesses that are pulling with her, they're all in to see that they each win. So, knowing that you have the confidence, the wherewithal, the intestinal fortitude, the strength within to accomplish something makes a world of difference. Confidence can make you go from being a little bit delusional to groundbreaking, to becoming a leader in your field, to accomplishing things people could have never seen. But you had that vision. You had that internal vision. You had it down deep in your soul that this is what I see happening. And remember, that's where you go back to. Don't share this with everybody. You share it with the people as needed. But you keep on plugging away behind the scenes. You keep on plugging away. You keep your head down and you keep plugging away. Every day you do a little bit more. Every day you do a little bit more. Don't worry about you get on live stream and there's only 1 or 2 people that plug in. Guess what? If you keep doing it, you will build up momentum eventually, because somebody's going to take notice and say, this person is really delusional. They be coming on here every single day for hours and hours just talking to themselves. And after a while, you'll be talking to a whole community of people that are cheering for you, and a whole community of people that are supporting you, and a whole community of people that are helping you to build your business, build your dreams, and you'll be bringing some of them with you. Won't that feel good at the end of the day? Okay. So, stay focused. Be diligent. Be a little bit delusional. Be creative. Gather your resources. Be like a squirrel gathering up your nuts. And just gathering up your tools and things. And keep on toiling away. Like a bird building a nest. One little twig at a time. And every day you put one more piece to the puzzle. And by the end of the time, the end of the 120 days or the end of the time, you will have amazed yourself at what you would have accomplished. The next question is, do you have any beliefs about yourself, about the world, about society, about your upbringing, or any of that might limit you and your power? So what are your limiting beliefs? What are the things that you think you can't do? Everybody has limiting beliefs at some time. It might be you don't want to get online because you don't look a certain way, or your space isn't perfect. You'd be amazed at the things that go on behind the scenes of people's spaces, or in people that have these perfect looking videos that they would never tell you. You see their highlight reel. You don't see all the camera equipment fell apart right before I hit go, or the power went out, or something crazy. Just a few minutes ago, they were outside drilling so loud it was starting to make my ear ring, and I had to close all the windows. And so all of those things happen, but you know what? If you stay focused and determined and say, look, at the start of this day, this is what I set out for my intentions, and find a way around it. If you have to be creative and go to another space, or do it at a little bit later time, if that's going to help you accomplish that goal for that day, then so be it. But what limiting beliefs do you have? Do you feel like a person that came from where you came from, your part of the city, can't accomplish big things? Do you think that in your city? I remember I used to go to government contracting workshops and meetings and things, and I'd be looking around like I'm the youngest person there, and I don't have any experience to do this business XYZ. And it cost me years of trying to figure out, I know I'm good at this thing, but how do I maneuver into this framework so that I can accomplish the goals that I want to set out for myself and my family and my business long term? So with all the tools we have at our disposal now, it's even easier to say go out there and strike your force, because you don't have to be limited. You can see a myriad of examples of people like you, similar to you, younger than you, older than you, all starting. Everybody's starting at a basic level and then moving their way up. Even if they didn't start at a basic level, everybody has something that they're working on or need to work on, and they push through it. So, do you have any limiting beliefs? So you need to put those things out on the table so you can start to work with them. And don't let them hinder you from pushing forward. Say, even though. So when you do your affirmation, you say, even though I feel like, or I think this, I know that I can accomplish my goals because I am. And you turn that thing right back around and you push that limiting belief to the back. You say, not today. Get thee behind me. And you keep on going. And you keep telling yourself that I know I can do this because others have done it. And I wouldn't have been given this vision if it wasn't for me to bring it to fruition. So you have to really keep being just that determined and focused in order for you to accomplish your goals. 120 days is what we're aiming at. 120 days. Our businesses, our lifestyles, family, whatever it is that you endeavor to do, 120 days, it should look completely different than it does day one, right? Last thing is, let's tease these beliefs. For example, could your limiting beliefs benefit you in some way? Suppose that was a thing that was supposed to be your stopgap, so that you didn't just go run off the edge of the cliff, that you had somewhere to say, okay, this is my break. This is my pause button moment. So when I get to this point, I know I need to stop because I'm going too far. Because some people, like, you could be the kind of person that's a workaholic. And I remember growing up, that was the one thing I really despised, was workaholic. Because I always knew and felt like my dad was a workaholic, and I felt like all the time working means that you don't have any time to play or just be around with family or just take a break, take a vacation, just enjoy the fruits of your labor. Like, don't work all day, all night, 24/7, 365 days a year, and leave your family, your friends, your community, and leave everything behind, and all you think about is work, 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 work. No, that is not what we're here to do. We are here to make a reasonable amount of effort towards achieving our goals within the confines or the bounds of the lifestyle that we most want to live. Like, if you want to live a lifestyle where you only have a 4-hour work day, then create that kind of lifestyle right now at the beginning, so you can figure out how to make it happen within that boundary. And you're not doing all of this and then having to redo another set when you get to where you thought you were going right now to then. Okay? So,
the ensemble here of oboes,
has there ever been someone in the world who has disproved this limiting belief about you? Like, if you had a limiting belief about yourself, has there ever been anyone that's told you, no, I thought you were really good at that, or I never saw that in you, or really? Like, if you get those kind of stares, like, really? You think you... Come on. Wow. Like, I know I have people in my family that are very photogenic. I'm not photogenic. That's a limiting belief for me. But it's also realistic, because it takes a lot for me to take good pictures. I know that's not my strong suit. I can take a cute picture every now and then, but I know I'm not photogenic. So sometimes the limiting belief could be that I just don't like to be on camera, or I don't like taking pictures. But in order for me to accomplish what I need to do, X, Y, Z, and just be in this life, be in entertaining, be in a business whereby I'm in front of people all the time, which I love to work with people. I love working with people live. I love being in groups. I love being up in front of an audience. If I'm to do those type of things, I have to put that limiting belief out of my mind and say that, listen, the goals I'm reaching for, the things that I was put here to do, are bigger than me not being a photogenic person. So I have to not worry about that and just push forward and do what I need to do. Right? So think about, how are those limiting beliefs, if any limiting beliefs that you may have about yourself or your existence or your situation, any of them, Have they ever been disproven by anybody? Have they ever been questioned? Like, really? You don't think you're good at that? Or, wow, I would have never guessed that about you. If you get those kind of reactions to something, think about it and say, maybe I'm making too much of this thing. And put that to the side and say, okay, how can I use this to my advantage and move around it, right? Okay. So I want you to write down those questions. Let's go over the questions again, because this all is about you learning how to create your own reality. You manifesting, you bringing the thing towards you, into your existence, into your realm of experience, into your realm of being able to touch, hold, feel, experience, do, by being intentional every chance you get. Okay? How do you attract the things you desire? That's the first question. How? Think about how in the past have you attracted the things that you desire to yourself? Be it a person, be it a relationship, be it a mate, be it a physical thing. How have you attracted that thing that you desired? What did you think about it? What did you feel about it? What emotions did it evoke for you? Do you believe a higher power exists? And I gave the example of when I had the car accident way back. How has this belief influenced you? The belief that a higher power exists or not exists or whatever you feel about it. How has that belief impacted you? In what ways do you believe you have the power to shape, to mold, to determine, to change the trajectory of your life, of your future, of your destiny? In what ways do you think? I can think back to times where there was things that I should have said no to or yes to, and that really changed the trajectory of my life. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along in 120 days, this cycle. But everybody has some situation. And I used to always try to tell myself that I don't live with regrets. But sometimes living with regret is one thing, but being more mindful of the intentionalities that we set at each given moment, because every day you have the option to go left, go right, go forward, go backwards, stay still. And every time you make a decision to do one of those things, it changes the course of the next few moments. So you have to start being intentional, thinking about, no, baby. Thinking about, okay, what am I going to do at this moment that is going to benefit me moving forward? Every time you have an opportunity to make a decision, you have to be thinking about that. What decision will I make at this point in time that will help me moving forward? And you want to make sure that you're making good decisions. You're making them with efficiency, and you're making them effectively, and you're making them in a timely manner, so that the next decision that you make will help you to build upon it, not regress. Okay? How confident are you that you have the power within you to accomplish your goal that you're setting out for this next 120 days? How confident are you that you have the tools, the resources, the skills, the abilities to be able to accomplish this thing that you're setting out to do? How determined are you? How self-confident are you? How grounded are you to know that you have the thing inside of you to accomplish that vision, that huge vision you have to change your life, to change your business in the next 120 days? And do you have any limiting beliefs that will railroad you, sidetrack you from getting to the goal? Deal with those now, put them on paper, and work out a plan whereby you can move forward. And those limiting beliefs, those detractors don't even weigh. They don't even hold much weight. for you. And then let's go with this again. I help analytical and creatively inspired, gifted individuals find ways to fund their passion projects lifestyle through MRR, Master Resale Right programs, PLR, private label right programs, such as DEA and other programs. Hey, quiet time. And fund their lifestyles doing things that they absolutely love to do, and that's in their zone of genius. Right about now, I want you to take this time and write about a time when you were inspired by another person's success. When attracting something into your life. Who was that person and how did they inspire you? So I want you to write about a time where someone else, you were inspired by their success. Who's that person? How did they inspire you? What was it about the situation, about the person, about the place, about the circumstances that got you going, that got you feeling like, I could do that. I could see myself living like that. Like, did you go somewhere? A lot of people get inspired when they go on vacation and they start to see a lifestyle that feels free. Zuri! Hey! Excuse me a second. Zuri! Inside. 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 No, let's go.
Maybe coming from the Canadian wildfires. So if you're sensitive to those kinds of things, I think the air quality is still pretty good. But you can see that haze in the air right now.
So a lot of people go on vacation. Nope, inside. Nope, inside. Inside.
Out for this new hour. A gorgeous melody both begins.
A lot of people go on vacation and they come back refreshed because they've had time to sit and think and not be on a time schedule and not be flying from hither to yon. So they've had time to really take in the beauty of life, eat good food, drink good drinks, listen to good music, dance, walk about, window shop, do all the things without no time schedule to, I gotta do this work, I gotta do this, I gotta be rushing from here to there. Just be able to be with your thoughts in the moment. And they feel so alive. That's why people love to take vacations, because they can take a time to kick back whereby they don't feel pressed and pressure to do things that they don't enjoy doing. Don't you want your work to feel like something that you really enjoy doing? I know I love to go into situations where I feel like I'm not on a time schedule, I'm not on a time crunch, I'm not running from here to there. I got 5 minutes to be here. Hold on a moment. I got 5 minutes to be here, and then the next 5 minutes I gotta be at this meeting, and then yada yada yada, and going back and forth, and I'm doing something that I hate, and I'm gonna have to be around people that I really don't want to deal with this situation, and it feels like treachery, and it feels like oppression, and it doesn't feel like the work that I was born to do. But each of us was born to accomplish a certain type of thing. But sadly enough, we spend so many years going through the educational process. I feel like I've been in school all my life. And then once you get out of school, you take self-development, and you might learn a tidbit here or there. A lot of it is regurgitated, things that you hear over and over and over again. And you start to say, am I living the type of lifestyle and the life that I wanted to live? Am I running the type of business that I envisioned myself running when I started out being in business? And you have to really keep tweaking yourself and saying, well, sometimes people change. And if it's a fact that you change in the mere course of things, then you say, okay, it's time for me to reroute myself. And that's when you look at these questions and you start to say, okay, well, I used to enjoy doing XYZ. Like I used to enjoy tutoring. It used to be a great it used to be a good bit. It was a good business to me, but I am no longer in the frame of mind of wanting to be someone's teacher after they've done poorly in school and having to go back and teach them to relearn all those skills that they missed along the way. I don't have that in me anymore. And I know that in order for me to be effective at anything, I have to have my heart and my soul into it. And that was my last life. And I've moved on from now. Now I specifically and solely help businesses and people who are analytical thinkers, who are creatively inspired thinkers, people who want to fund their passion projects. Like I just came back from this theater festival, and it's a biannual theater festival. So every 2 years it's a theater festival. And it's a cute little town down in North Carolina. And when you're there, you're immersed in the arts. You literally can wake up in the morning, look at the schedule and be like, oh, I want to go to this reading. I want to see this play. And you can see like a whole year's worth of fabulous plays and readings and all sorts of people trying to launch their projects or bringing their projects that are on tour. And you could see, like, if you wanted to see 2 or 3 shows every single day, you could literally do that. And it would be like heaven for somebody who's a theater goer. So anyway, while I was there, I saw several shows. I saw several readings that were phenomenal. Some of the readings, I was like, wow. It's like literally you got immersed in the visuals of what they were talking about. And you felt like you were in the middle of the scene. And the one thing that all of these people had in common is that they were all looking for funding to either grow their projects, keep their projects on the road, be able to tour their projects, take their projects to the next level for the people who are doing readings. A lot of them are just jumpstarting their projects and trying to see how it's received by their audience and how they can tweak it to make it more an immersive and engaging event. And all of them needed funding. And so basically I help analytical and creatively inspired individuals and folks and projects and business owners find ways to fund their passion projects and passion programs through resources and tools such as master resale rights, private label rights, developing programs, developing products and services, DBA, Digital Boss Academy. There's so many resources, but finding the right tools for your right business and for your personality and for your project is what I help people find. That's my zone of genius. So doing that kind of work is the thing that really speaks to my soul and inspires me to keep going. I feel like it's not work. This feels like play. It feels like something that I was born to do, like putting together ideas, putting together the visuals, the creatives about something, putting together all the pieces, like the big picture pieces. That's what I'm really good at. So work that allows me to be able to do that and go out and edify people, work with students on a level where I'm getting them to see that you're really, really good at this. Like, wow. I remember a few years back, I had a 3rd grader, and I was working in the class with a couple of the students, and I looked at his notebook, and inside his notebook was these beautiful drawings. He was really big into Marvel comics, so he knew the whole history of the Marvel comics series, even though he was only in 3rd grade. He knew what the color schemes meant. He knew what all the little pieces of the thing meant. He knew all of that, and he was telling me, oh, and this figure here is such and such and such. I don't know the Marvel comics like that, so I took his word for it, and I I knew basically what he was talking about, but not all the bits and pieces, details. And so he would go and say, like, oh, in this color, this, you see this yellow right here on his wings and on his boots, that means such and such and such. And then I painted this part purple because XYZ, he's the color of royalty. And then this part is blue on his breastplate. And he was going through all, and it was so detailed. And it was so beautiful. I was like, man, if this guy got really his craft honed, and I mean at third grade at his age, if he were to, let's say, go into art classes and really start to develop comicking and cartooning as a skill set, he would be phenomenal in a Disney or IMAX, or even just creating his own stills. This dog likes to make a lot of noise. And it's just been, it was amazing to see the level of talent that he had. That was just that was inborn talent. Shh, shh, shh. Quiet time. And most people don't understand the level of talent that they already innately have. Things that could really propel them to the next level of creating a life that they couldn't even imagine, because they never go into, there's no, Jeremiah, there's no process, there's no funnel that takes a child from, oh, I see you have this talent, to let's do something with this talent. Maybe that's what you were born to do. Most people are just shuttled into go to school, K through 12, go to college if that's your leaning, go to trade school, or just go get a job. The majority of people never have the opportunity in their lives to really explore their God-given talents. And I think the sad part of that is that most of those God-given talents wear away because we get shuttled into what society sees as the course of action that most people should take. There's very few people, a very small percentage of the people that are able to live out their dreams in a big, big way, because they took a chance and because they made the first couple of steps. So hopefully in this next 120 days, you will take time, you will write these answers out, you will think about what are your limiting beliefs. How can they be either a quick stop for me when I go too far, or how can I just put them to the side and not allow them to live rent-free in my spirit, in my head, and charge forward with the goals that I really want to accomplish in this next 120 days with my business, creating the type of business that can grow, that gets momentum, the type of business that helps me to build community, that helps me to build a community and a village of like-minded people, that we're all in it to try to bring each other up. You pull and you bring somebody up as you lift and you grow. That's what it's all about. Developing a community of like-minded people whereby you're all in it to see each other win. That's the goal. That's the goal in these next 120 days. I hope that if you watch this and you see this video, you would go and start to do the exercises. Start to write out, how do you attract the things that you desire to you? What does it mean to really dream and visualize and have affirmations that you know you can accomplish this big, huge goal that you set for yourself? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a big, huge goal. But what is your goal in the next 120 days that you want to see happen in your business, in your lifestyle, in your family, with your relationships? Are there relationships that you've let kind of fall by the wayside that you know you need to strengthen? Each of us has them. because you can't juggle every single ball all the time perfectly. Sometimes a ball falls by the wayside here or there, but the more intentional you are about it, the more you're going to feel more accomplished, and the more you're actually going to accomplish. So let's stay on track with that. Do you believe that a higher power exists? And if a higher power exists, do you believe that it has influenced you? Do you believe you have some connection with the higher power, that either they're overseeing what you're doing, or they're helping you, they're pushing you, they're prodding you forward, they're giving you the visuals, they're giving you the vision, they're giving you the ideas, they're giving you the boost of confidence to say, my child, you can do this. You can do, you have within you right now the things that you need to push yourself forward. Because if you didn't get that vision, and you didn't have that desire, it wouldn't have been for you. Everybody doesn't get the same vision that you got. Everybody doesn't get the same desire. Everybody doesn't get the same leaning that you got. But because you got it, it was specifically for you to get it. It was for you to accomplish. It was for you to start thinking and working on it. It was for you to start gathering the resources to make it happen. It was for you to sit and think about it and plan it out. It was for you to say, oh, wait a minute. Like, I learned about a specific type of housing for artists when I went down to the theater festival, and I never knew that existed. But if I wasn't in that environment, I would not have gotten that information download, and I wouldn't have been able to start saying, oh, let me look into that a little bit more, because this can help me accomplish another goal of mine without having to beat my head about, oh, where am I going to find a space to do X, Y, and Z? But just getting that tidbit of information. Oh, and go check here. And then I downloaded that website, and I started looking and started making calls towards, okay, let me just keep on pressing until I get the answers that I need. Sometimes you're not going to get the answer the first time. Oftentimes, especially if it's something that can change your life, it takes trying several times. Keep pushing the button, pushing the button, pushing the button, until you get that yes that you need to move forward to the next level. But don't let that stop you. That limiting belief and that people dragging their feet are the things that help, that causes a lot of people to get derailed from their vision, from their goals. Don't let it stop you. In this next 120 days, we want to be very intentional about everything we do. Okay? So let's stay the course. Stay the course. This is about manifesting the dream life that you have been desiring. And I know if you're anything like me, and most people that I know, come across, talk to, you've had that desire for a long time, but you have not acted on it. You have not been intentional about acting on it and moving it forward and doing anything about it. So you just went the road that most people take. Let me just go over here and get this job and keep on plugging away at it. And in 30 or 40 years, I'll have enough to retire, and then I can start to live my life and do the things and dream and all the things. But you never know when the end of your life will be. So you need to make sure that you live every day. Just go all out and put it all on the line. And don't let anybody stop you. Right? Okay. So the last part was right about a time when you were inspired by something. This used to always be a difficult question for me. You know how in school when they ask you, oh, who are your role models? And who did you see do XYZ that made you want to do XYZ? And I would always have difficulty with that question, because growing up in a Caribbean household, it was always, you saw your parents work very hard and make something out of nothing and do all the things. And like I said before, My dad was always, to this day, still is a workaholic, works very hard, and is always, moving around and doing things and never sitting still. And I always ask him, when are you going to take a vacation? Doesn't take vacations very often. All the things. And I said, I determined at a very young age I didn't want to live my life like that. I wanted to. My mom, on the other hand, was very much a little bit of the opposite. She was a hard worker. She even took a job at night so that she could be available during the day to go to our schools and talk with our teachers and do all the parent-teachers meetings, and when they had field trips and things that they needed parents to help out during the day, she could be available. I really don't know how she did. I used to always ask her, how do you do it? Because I could barely keep my eyes blink, blink, blink after 9 o'clock at night, and now here she is working at night and also available during the day to take us to school, to pick us up and do all the things, have a hot dinner ready for us before she went to work at night. It's just crazy the kinds of things parents sacrifice for their kids just to make sure that they give them the best chance in life. And so I always have difficulty with that. And I still always say my parents, because I don't know how they did it, came here with very little family, but yet you're able to somehow make a go of things the best you could and build a life for your family and yourself. And that's not an easy feat to do, starting from scratch. But I think it still holds that way. And my mom, God rest her soul, she's transcended now, but I feel like she put in us that thing that was like, reach for more. Like, she was big into affirmations and having recitations of little things that she would say to like boost your confidence and make sure that you knew that you were special, and make sure that you knew that you were loved, and make sure that you knew that you were born for greatness and born of greatness, even more so, and that you could accomplish any goal that you set your mind to. Don't let the naysayers, don't let your mere circumstances at this very moment detract you from getting to the bag, getting to the things that you see for yourself to accomplish, from building your business the way you want to build your business. I see my business flourishing in ways that I know I wouldn't be able to comprehend at the end of the day. Like, wow, I see my business building to the point where I'm going to wow myself, and I know it can happen for you too. Just stay the course in these next 120 days. Stay the course, do the exercises, do the work, go out there and talk to people, find your clients, keep promoting your product, pitch your ideas to the right people at the right time. Not every pitch is meant for you, but keep pitching to the right people at the right time often enough. And if you do it with regularity, you're going to get better and better and better. And eventually it's going to start to become a part of your natural and normal vernacular. And it's not even going to feel like work. You're going to do it with a quickness. I remember in one of my Toastmasters clubs that I was a president of years back, one of the guys, his son, used to always come up, hi, I'm so-and-so. And he would, tell everybody his name. 10, 11 years old, he would go up to grown people and shake their hand and confidently tell them, introduce himself, and tell them his little spiel or whatever that his dad told him to say every time he met people. And I said, wow, that's a wonderful way to raise a child, to be able to advocate for themselves and speak up for themselves and not be afraid to approach a situation with strangers and say, this is who I am and this is what I'm great at. Nice to meet you. You can do that in your own business, in your life, to really manifest the types of life and business opportunities that you see yourself having right now. The types of opportunities that are meant for you are going to come if you stay the course and you continue to do the work. So in the next 120 days, I want you to think about it. Let's do the work. Let's put it on paper. pen to paper. Let's start doing everyday intentional actions, small intentional actions towards our goals. And then at the end of this time period, you will see a difference. Your business will have been transformed. Your life will have been transformed. Your relationships will have been transformed. The types of opportunities that come to you will have been changed. Your trajectory will change if you stay the course this next 4 months. Believe me. And then make a list of people who inspire you, who make you believe your dreams can become a reality. You want those people close. It could be people that you know from the public. It could be authors, family. It could be friends. It should be everybody around you that you can glean something from, that can boost your confidence, that can boost you up, and that can help you get to the next level. Jot down a few of the qualities about each person that you admire. And then keep that. The person, and what do I admire about them? Who's a person, public or private, and what do I admire about them? So you keep going and you develop a list about that. Neville Goddard once said that an assumption, though false, if it persisted, it will easily harden into a fact. So sometimes we have these assumptions, and because we keep saying the same false assumption over and over and over again, it begins to take on a life of its own and begins to become the assumed truth. We do not want that to happen at any part in this process. We want the facts and the facts to stay the facts, and we want the limiting beliefs and the poor assumptions to stay over here on the side and not be able to get us sidetracked and derailed. Okay? And then next, I want you to think about, has there been someone that came from a similar background as you that has accomplished a thing or a similar thing or a big thing that you have looked up and said, wow, that person was from my neighborhood, my same similar background, and look what they've done that you can look up to? And how do you relate to their story? Think about like any similarities, and also think about the differences and how you can use that to jumpstart you in this process and push you forward to keep you going. Because there's going to be many, many times in the next 120 days where you feel like, I'm doing all this and not even one iota of movement has happened. Am I doing the right thing? Should I just throw my hands up and say, oh man, let me just go back and get another job? Should I just throw my hands up and say, I don't think this is the business for me? Or should I look at the people that have gotten out the mud, that have come from similar circumstances and accomplished huge goals, and use that as my jumping point? Use that as a mirror to reflect the things that I can accomplish, I have at my disposal. You become the people you surround yourself with. So remember when I said make sure that you keep yourself in environments that feed you, feed your soul, feed your spirit, your mind, that edify you, that lift you up, that boost your confidence even more, and you boost theirs up. So you want to grow with a community of people around you that are growing, and also you're all supporting each other. That's the goal. How do you feel about the people in your circle? If there's people in your circle that you don't feel are pulling their weight or doing reciprocal things for each other, get them out of that circle. And that doesn't mean that every time you call somebody should just stop what they're doing and run. But it does mean that when you're really, really down and out and your back is against the wall and you need those people, they should be more than willing to come and have your back. And it's a blessing always to have those types of people in your corner. You should never take it for granted. You should make sure every opportunity you get to tell them how blessed you feel by having them in your life, that you tell them. Share it. Because remember what they say about the more gratitude that you espouse and experience, the more gratitude and grateful, the more things that you desire are going to come to you. Because you're expressing gratitude about the things. So you're being a good steward about the things that you already have. So more of that is going to come to you. Okay? And then which of these people do you find gives you energy and inspires you? So I want you to think about those things. It's a lot about really building a good, strong foundation. Because you don't want a foundation built on quicksand. What you want is a nice, sturdy, stable foundation that's built on good ties, good relationships, good people, good ideas, solid foundation in yourself and all the people and things around you. A good structure. And it doesn't mean that every single piece of the puzzle has to be perfect for you to get started and keep on moving. Excuse me. But what it means is that you need to intentionally survey your surroundings and say, okay, if my surroundings don't have the things that I need to edify me and move me forward to accomplishing these goals, then what situation do I need to put myself in to make it even more obvious that my goals can be accomplished? What people do I need in my circle, in my corner? What circumstances do I need to make sure that I'm able to participate in? What situations do I need to be able to participate in to make sure that I have the utmost opportunity to be able to accomplish what I'm setting out to, what I desire? What environment do I need to be in? What books, what tools, what resources do I need? What do I need mentors? What kind of mentors? Do I need guide? What kind of guides? Do I need to join some type of peer group where we're all going to be racing to the top and racing towards our goals together so that we can all boost each other up? What do I need in my circle? How do I need to talk to my family about what it is I'm trying to accomplish so that I make sure that we're all on the same sheet of music? And what time-wise do I need to set aside to make sure that I have enough time to devote to this thing so that I'm getting the biggest bang for my buck? Making sure that I'm not squeezing in times at different times of the day and not being intentional about it. Making sure that I'm setting my intention at the beginning of the day and I'm moving around throughout the day so that my goals have the best chance of being accomplished. So you need to think about all those little pieces. And basically, it is really about building a village whereby you're all looking for the best. You're looking out for the best for each other. And you're all pulling for the same thing so everybody can win. This should be a win-win situation at the end of the day. You and all those in your inner circle should be pulling for the same things to make sure that we all win. Right? Okay. So the next thing is, what is there any person that makes that their energy, just their essence, their being, makes you feel like you feel like you're on top of the world, like you can be bigger, you can be better. It pushes you, it encourages you to dream bigger, to do more, to go farther, to go faster. Is there any person that you have in your circle like that right now? And how do you move differently because of them or in spite of them? Both. How do you move differently, move around your circle differently because of that person? Because they're your cheerleader. They're boosting you up. You're their cheerleader. You have reciprocal energy for each other. You're feeding off of each other. You're boosting each other up. Girl, you could do it. Yeah. See, I knew you could do it. You got that in you. You got this. You got this. Don't worry about those naysayers. Don't worry about those detractors. They are insignificant at the end of the day. Think about all those people that are in your corner, that are pulling for you, that are wishing the best for you, that they get up in the morning and they pray for you and they say, how you doing, girl? You all right? But really, really, how you doing deep down? Do I need to come lay eyes on you? Do I need to come and be in your presence for a moment? You need a hug? Who are those people for you? Do you have those people? And if not, seek them out quickly and fast, because being in business for yourself can be a lonely venture if you don't have people in your corner that's always pulling. And in the back of their mind is, man, I wish the best for this person. I wish the best for her. I know she's going to do it. I'm going to support her any way I can. I got her back. If you don't have that person, people in your corner, get them. You're going to need those types of people. That's going to be the foundation of your village to really start like pushing yourself forward, because it gets hard when you're trying to pull by yourself up a mountain. But many hands make light work. Like my mother always used to say, many hands make light work. But I want to add a caveat to that. Many hands make the work feel lighter. Because the work might not always be light, but it will feel lighter if you're doing it with a group of people and you're all pulling for the best for each other. Right? The next thing is, how can you take steps to cultivate a circle that elevates and inspires you? Some people might call this like your board of directors. Some people might call this your inner circle. But how do you take steps to cultivate that circle? I've seen people do it by being in co-ops, being in clubs, all types of different ways. But you need to get a group of like-minded people whereby you're all pulling for the best for each other. Nobody's over here going off by themselves. Nobody's here doing their thing. And if you call and say, hey, I need XYZ, I need you to help me do this, or you know, somebody that I can call for this, and that person crickets. You don't need them in your inner circle. You might have them on the outer perimeter, but they don't need to be in your inner circle, because that's going to make your work slow down and you're going to get sidetracked from your goals. Be very intentional in this next 120 days about building an inner circle whereby you're all striving to see each other win. Right? The next part of this is, what is someone that lives a life? Who is someone that lives a life that you aspire to live? So if you know or seen anyone that you admire, you say, wow, I like what they're doing over there. Who is that person? Who is that person that makes you say, wow, okay, I see, okay. And this is not about material things. This is about they're living the type of lifestyle. They're having the types of freedom with their time, with their energy, with the things they say yes or no to, with the places they go, that inspires you deep down in your core. Is there any person like that? What is it about their lifestyle, their livelihood, the things they do that you desire to attain? And then if you can, this is where it can help you build your business. If you can get a hold of these people, a group of these people even, and ask them what steps they took to get where they are. You might be surprised about the things that you learn from it in the relationships that will help you build. And then how can you embody the energy and lifestyle that they have right now, today? So this is about, remember I said this is about step by step by step building the type of lifestyle that you ultimately desire from the beginning. Not We're going to do all this drudgery. We're going to do all this groundwork. And then at the end, when we think we've gotten to a certain place, now I can finally live that. No, every single day, do something to live the type of lifestyle that you envision yourself living. If something is not of your being and is not feeding you and is not the type of lifestyle that you see yourself ultimately living and desire to live in a bigger way, then don't incorporate it into this next 120 days. Be very intentional. That's going to be hard. That's going to mean you're going to have to sacrifice some things that has become very protocol for you over the years. But by the same token, we're trying to change things. We're trying to change the trajectory of our lives. We're trying to change our destinies. We're trying to change generational legacies. We're trying to change generational wealth. We're trying to change the trajectory of our business. We're trying to change the level at which we do business, the types of clients we do business with. We're trying to change that to a higher level, to a bigger level. Then you need to make sure that you're intentional about everything you say yes to, everything you say no to, and all the things that you have within your realm of consciousness right now, so that you are laying a good, solid, steady foundation for the type of life that you want to live come 120 days and beyond from now. Okay? What are the steps? How can you embody the energy and lifestyle they have today? There's a quote about happiness. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs, and the actions that you're taking right now. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your ideas, thoughts, behaviors, beliefs, and actions that you're taking now. That determines the quality of your life. Right? Take a moment, if you will, and write it out. Describe a time when your thoughts and beliefs and ideas in something and yourself led you to attracting the outcome you desire. So was there ever a time where your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs, and your actions led you to manifesting that which you desired? And then by the opposite, is there a time that just the opposite happened? But what did you do that led you to attract the desired outcome? Because if you're intentional about thinking about and recognizing patterns, because life is all patterns. Everything in life is about patterns. Patterns keep recycling themselves. History keeps repeating itself. But history repeats itself in a good way when we learn to recognize a pattern, and then we can bypass the things that, or shorten the course of things that are going to get us off course. So, was there a time when you manifested, brought the thing to you, the opportunity to you that you desired? And what did you do? What did you do to get that outcome? How did you get that outcome? Be very as detailed as possible about how you go about and manifesting the things that you have in the past, so that moving forward, you know some of the signs to recognize and look out for. So that's that big thing. Okay? And then, what was the mindset that you possessed? Was there anything specific about the journey, a person, action you took, a book, energy, anything that helped you, that you could tap into today? So before we end up this session, I want you to really be intentional about thinking about a couple of things. The biggest things are, start to build the type of circle that will help you to grow your thoughts, your beliefs, your ideas, the way you move about in the world, the opportunities that you take part of, start to grow the kind of circle that you're all going to be just looking to uplift each other and edify each other and speak to each other and support each other. A network. Start to build your network so that at the end of this process, you will have seen that, wow, look what we have accomplished together. And it would be so much more the better. And so the outcomes would be so much sweeter because you have people that you can lean on and say, wow, we did this. We really did this. And look, who knew? Who knew it was even possible? Who even knew it was possible? Start to develop your village. Start to take a hold of your village. If you come across people in your daily movement that you say, wow, I like that person's energy, find ways to incorporate them into what you're doing, because it will be much easier than we should catch up, we should do coffee, we should do lunch. How many times have you said that, or somebody said it to you, and you know that doesn't happen? But if you learn how to incorporate the types of people that you want in your circle into your space on a regular basis, so that they're accomplishing their goals, you're accomplishing your goals, and everybody is eating at the table, and everybody is feasting, and everybody is moving and growing together, then you'll start to develop a more tight-knit network that will help you all to grow and all to manifest in a bigger way, and all to move up in a bigger way, and all to get the type of support and the feedback and everything that you're all looking for. Because everybody's striving in life. I know that for sure. Having been in hundreds and hundreds of different homes and situations and dealt with different families all over. From the upper side to the lower side. And everybody wants to do better. Everybody's striving and they're doing the best they can with what they have. But if you start to build in with what you have, with the whole circle of people, you'll all do better for it. You will all strive together. You will all boost each other up better. You will all start to say, okay, we have similar goals we're trying to accomplish. So now how can I put this piece together with your piece, and that piece together with her piece or his piece, and so that we all start to like join and build up a coalition of people who are just like running the race together. Because it's no fun to go alone. There's proverbs, and I'm sure you probably heard the proverbs that say, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to go together. This is about building coalitions that help us all to lift and spread and build as we climb. So we're just not running this rat race by ourselves. We're not running the rat race. You are actually moving mountains because you're moving with a whole coalition of people. And it don't have to be a huge circle, because not everybody's meant to be in a huge circle. But you do need a network, a circle of people around you that are supporting you and saying, you know, in times when you feel like, oh, I'm just so sick of this. Oh, I can't believe XYZ happened. Then you have somebody that says, you want a hug? You want to come over here? Like when I started pitching my tea, doing afternoon tea idea. It was funny. I was talking to somebody recently, an old friend from church, and she was saying that she had a similar idea, but she wanted hers to be more on the church side. And I was like, well, I want mine will be more on the mental health side. But we're basically both saying that we want to do very similar things. I was like, at some point we could work together, because we're both trying to accomplish the same goals. And, you know, we know each other. I know how you operate. She can learn how I operate. And I think we can work well together to do some of that. That's what it is about building coalitions and building resources and building a village of people who you're all trying to strive to do better together, and you all got each other's back, and you all want the best for each other. So that's what it's about. Getting a coalition of people together that wants the best for each other. And also having your goals so laser focused that you don't get sidetracked by the things that you're not supposed to do. The desires of your heart can be accomplished only when you're intentional about each day what you do to move the needle forward. Just even a smidgen each day. But if you're not intentional, you will get sidetracked very easily, because every great idea is not a great idea for you. So don't get sidetracked because something worked for somebody else. Say, okay, that's something to consider. And sometimes you just have to be blunt with it and say, that's not in my wheelhouse. Or that's not what I'm doing on this day. And you move on. You say, this is where my focus needs to stay. And you move on with it. And you keep on making the moves towards what you need to do. So I want you to start thinking about people that you admire, people that bring the kind of energy that you really want to see. You could see being in your circle, you all helping to build coalitions together, because it's much easier to have multiple people speaking on a subject and boosting it up than it is for you to be out there lone wolf fighting and scrapping and running the rat race all by yourself. It's much, much easier when you have a coalition of people all striving for the same goals. So for this session, this starting out sessions, we're working through the manifestation journal. And then we're going to move into a little bit of the 369 journal. So the 369 journal is all about really starting to be intentional in your thought process and your mindset. The 369 method is a method that was developed by scientists, and you may know this person, Nikola Tesla, and it's the same person that developed the ideas surrounding some of the Tesla automation. Anyway, Tesla came up with the idea of 369. 3 times in the morning you state your intention. 6 times in the afternoon you state your intention. 9 times a night you state your intention. Does it have to always be the same intention? Not necessarily, because sometimes your intentions will get tweaked as you move throughout the day. But if, say, in the morning you had a thought, this is what I want to accomplish for the day, and you write it out 3 times. I will accomplish X, Y, Z, and you write it out. You write it out. You write it out 3 times in the morning. That means for that morning you're going to be focused on what was that thing that you were supposed to be intending to do. In the afternoon, you come back. If it's the same thing that you want to stay focused on, you write it out 6 times. I will. This is what, da-da-da-da. You write it out 6 times. And then at night, you write it 9 times before you go to bed for the or turn in for the evening. What was either accomplished and what was the set goal to be accomplished. So you want the goal to always be the forefront of doing the 369 method. And then as you go throughout the day, how close are you getting to that goal? If you do that each and every day, that will get you one step closer to developing your goals, refining your goals, and accomplishing your goals much faster, much farther, and in a much deeper manner than if you just kind of have it rustling around in your head and you really don't commit it to paper. So to start out the 369 method, there's a declaration of intent, and it reads as so. You put your name in, vow on this day to commit to my personal growth. I promise to fill out this journal until it is complete, and I promise to love and embrace myself fully throughout this process. I understand that life is ever changing, even changing momentarily. And I will not forget that I hold the wisdom, the strength, the determination, the discipline, the intestinal fortitude to overcome any and all obstacles that present themselves throughout this process. I'm grateful for this magical moment, and I look forward to unraveling the days ahead. sign and date that. And then the 3-6 mind method starts with 3 times you write. The science and 369 method goes back to the science of habit. The more you commit something and you go over and over and you repeat it, the more you commit it to memory. When you think it, that's one. And then you see it after you write it. So you think first, then you write and rewrite, and then you see it. So now you've brought it into your consciousness in 3 different manners. You thought it, you wrote it, and now you see it. It starts to become more of your being the more you keep repeating it. So that's what it's like a vibrational energy whereby you keep repeating. So write your desires 3 times in the morning. Write your desires 6 times in the afternoon. And then write your desires out 9 times in the evening. And an example of this could be, I'm so happy and my heart is so full now that I have an extra $100,000 in my checking account. So you write that desire as though you already have it. I am so happy. Because your mind doesn't know the difference between imagined and reality. So you want to make sure that you start to bring all of these thoughts intentionally into your reality as though they're already inevitably happening. So I am so happy that I have an extra $100,000 in my checking account. I have an extra $1 million in my savings account. I am so happy that I have blah, 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 blah. I am so happy that I am so grateful that, and you keep repeating it 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times at night. If you do this every single day, and this does not take long, but put it in the same journal every single day. If you do this, you will start to feel a different way about the way you present yourself to the world, and also you will start to feel differently about the situations and opportunities that present themselves to you and that are presented to you, because you will know that your intention is this, your desire is this, and you keep your desires forefront. They will start to manifest themselves much faster, in a much deeper and more meaningful way, much quicker. So that's what we're going to end with for this session now. But listen, 369. Repeat your desires. Write them down 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night. Every single day for the next 120 days. And then commit to start to develop the kind of circle. Start looking out and seeking out the kinds of people that are going to help you build as you grow. Build as you grow. So you can all be in reciprocal relationships with each other, helping each other build as you grow, and you're all with you. All right? So that's what it is. It was great having this time with you, and I will see you at the top. Okay. So we just did 2 hours on live. You had assignments for day 1 of the 120 days towards accomplishing your big goals. And I will be shutting down this live for now, taking a break, doing lunch, and then we're going to come back a little bit later on and we're going to talk about some other stuff. So I hope you're able to watch the live, go through all the exercises, and please be very intentional about where you put your focus, because that makes the world of difference into how you're going to really change the trajectory of not only your life, but also your business, your community, and your circle. Take good care.